Hello, I'm Joe Marler, England rugby player, and this is the Big Night Spin Challenge.
It's been a far quieter week for rugby this week, but I think that's mostly just because we've all been keeping it down so that we can hear the glorious noises coming out of Petrus Duplessis' kitchen. Because that man can play an implement like no one else. He can play a spatula better than anyone in the world can play an accordion. He's wonderful. This is not his first tune, and they're all on his Twitter to check out. And another prop who has been very much making the most of this lockdown period is the newly named Premiership Player of the Month, Jamal Ford-Robertson, and he was very happy to celebrate it. And it's been a great week for front row forwards because a third prop got to celebrate a moment of utter glory. Rugby Pass put together a list of the most impressive, the biggest bench pressers in rugby, and top of the list was, and it makes me delighted to say this as an Ospreys fan, Georgie Garchon, the Moldova and Ospreys prop, making it the first thing an Osprey has won all season.
And say it with me! Beefcake!
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 Jim Hamilton, slightly less delighted, but we can't win them all. As an Ospreys fan, I definitely know all about that. Some England players also took part in the BBC's Big Night In, Big Night Spin challenge, where the idea is you spin round, then you try and perform a sporting activity whilst incredibly dizzy. So Owen Farrell got so dizzy that he forgot which foot he kicked off. We had Chris Robshaw do as he always does and kicks for the corner. We had Ben Youngs get lost on the way to kicking the ball. And then we also had in there the incredibly impressive Katie Daly-McLean spinning round. She can barely stand, and then she just on the way nails it, exactly hits the target she was aiming for. Just further proof that Daly-McLean is effortlessly excellent. And speaking of people who can seemingly do everything, Beauden Barrett this week announced he's pregnant. Or maybe his wife is. I didn't really read the story. I just congratulations to Beauden and to his wife Hannah, because what everyone outside New Zealand really wants is more Barretts. And another man who definitely could always do it all is, as I mentioned last week, my all-time favourite player, Shane Williams. Now, we saw a few clips of him this week, and he's also been keeping himself very, very busy. So I thought this was a perfect time for me to just invade some of his time and try not to fanboy too hard over him. Shane Williams, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us today. How are you doing?
Pleasure. I'm good, thanks. Keeping myself busy, plenty to do.
Yeah, you seem to be. Just looking at your Instagram and Twitter, you seem to be completely non-stop.
I don't think I've ever been on social media so much, to be honest with you, but keeping myself going with a couple of charity things that I've been doing, spending some time with the family, so all good.
So the government advice at the minute is you get one form of exercise a day. You seem to have taken that completely to an extreme with the bike rides you've been doing. Do you want to just tell us about those?
You know, all the activities came to about 774 miles. So I said, look, I'll jump on a push bike in my little man cave around the back, and I'll cycle those miles for you. Do it in the space of a week. So we're into day 6 now. I'm starting to feel it today, if I'm honest. There's parts of me aching and sore that I don't want to get into too much.
And then on top of that as well, you were doing with your daughter the bit for the London Marathon yesterday. Can I just check, did she do 5k?
Yes, yeah. She's built for long distance. She's got the long legs. I don't know where she's inherited them from. More money raised for charity. We both donated to the charities chosen, and yesterday was a long day.
I started playing rugby because of yourself. I'm about your size. I was never a big kid, and it kind of came from seeing someone smaller do it. And I know anyone my size I've spoken to who's played rugby was always exactly the same. And I just, because I've started on this tangent, want to say personally thank you very much for that, and for pushing people like myself into that, and also for the kind of broken bones, because I did realise pretty quickly I'm not a once in a generation talent like yourself. I was hoping this would turn into a question as I went on, but it isn't.
If I've inspired anyone, then then job done, I say.
Shane, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for the rest of your career, for everything. It's been an absolute pleasure and a privilege. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
And speaking of all-timer back threes, World Rugby posted this game, which I spent a lot of time poring over. You've got £8, make your ultimate back three. In the end, I went Serge Blanco, absolute bargain. David Campese, for me, alongside Shane, would be an all-time 15. And then Gerald Davies, I had to get a Welshman in there who can step like no one other than Shane. And if you think you can do something equally impressive with rugby ball with or without a water bottle or any other implement, with or without Frenchness, then please send them our way using hashtag Rugby's Got Talent, and hopefully we might see you when I see you next week for the next The Feed. Is that good? We get that?
No worries, boss. Thank you.
Thank you.
And you.
Sorry for rambling a bit. Sorry.
Sorry, mate. It's all right.